Another broadcast, Democrats and cleaning up the mess that was left behind. If you take a look around, there's plenty to do for all these extensions of law, like the task force. There's a bunch of them. Don't smoke within 100 feet of a building. And there's all kinds of suggested law that's not applied. That is a complete waste of legislators' time. Here are some issues locally and federally that are not. There is something overlooked that kills children, and it's called prescription drugs and driving. You're not allowed to drive a vehicle if you're on benzoids, opiates, or marijuana. And the solution to preventing it is very simple. You simply have the doctor and pharmacist get together and figure out the most efficient way to send it to the license bureau so we can immediately suspend the patient's driver's license. It will cause them to do what the doctor says to get back to where they need to be a productive member of society so that they can get their driver's license back and go to work. If they're going to sit around and in some cases take things like pain blockers and Suboxone, or take methadone, oxycontin, or any other opiate, or take nerve medicines that prevent them from being able to make decent decisions as productive Americans, then they don't get to drive on our roadways. Some of them have been on this for 30 years, serving the state of Ohio, serving your local communities, some of them even driving around in police cars. And I say this because I can give you the names and you can go back and look at the prescriptions and the credit card purchases at the local drugstores. This is not a joke. It is against the law for you to jeopardize our children out there on these medical marijuana cards through these perpetual pain clinics, and absolutely through drinking and driving. So should we take a known alcoholic, one who has ridiculous amount of traffic violations, and suspend their license forever? Should we take a look at local police department officials who cover up things like my suggestions on stopping people who everybody knows is on perpetual pain medicines or perpetual marijuana care? We have to ask ourselves the tough questions. What if it's the mayor? What if it's the mayor or a family member? What if they drive a school bus? What if they're a corrections officer? What if they're a counselor for drug addicts? What if they're out here working on the water lines? What if they work in our county building? What if it's a county commissioner, congressman, senator? It doesn't matter, because just like it says in Plato's Republic, if we are all going to prosper underneath American law, then we all must be held accountable, right, wrong, or indifferent. That's the system. We know for a fact that around 10%, if not more, of the people who are in prison are innocent. They did not commit the crime. We don't have a perfect system, but what we do have is the front runner to perfection. We're as close as it gets to perfection in the world, not only with our judicial system, but in our democracy, founded on a Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights, and a Constitution. And we have to quit allowing for these elitists to get off of their crimes because they can pay for the John Ryan representations of the world. We have to have the same sentences for the same infractions, no matter who your attorney knows or not. We have to get back to the basics in this country, and we have to clean up this debacle that Donald J. Trump left behind. Where do we need to start? Right here in Lebanon, Ohio. Why? Because we have some major oil company vice presidents that live here. And there's no other reason in the world for Donald J. Trump Jr. to be visiting Senator Steve Wilson, pictured on Steve Wilson's Facebook page, right around the Waynesville Sauerkraut Festival, than to get donations and money. So we need to double check suspicious activity reports and transfers of funds between all the subsidiaries of Marathon, and even check the Golden Lamb where the donation dinners are held here in Warren County that everybody attends who's top elite conservative financial empowered people. This isn't a secret. It might not be recognized by people like my friend down there in Mississippi, Benny Thompson, but I guarantee you one thing. When I tell you that I'm directly related to the greatest family of Tennessee in the Donaldsons and Jacksons and Smiths, we can take a look around the landscape, and I guarantee you that I'll get some attention down here in Waynesville, because Warren County seems to be the epitome of the Trump issues when it comes to race relations, when it comes to recovery, and when it comes to realizing the benefits of teaching a child by saying, we were wrong in Waynesville, Ohio, and we now recognize it. Because I had first-hand account information from the descendant of the founders of the Democratic Party. And we can go back and take a look at the officers' names involved and everything else and get to the bottom of the fact that in the Dayton Daily News, they cited it, and it was overlooked by these conservatives, just like half their leadership's overlooked for driving around on opiates. There was no ticket given by the Waynesville Police Department, and they pulled the young minorities out of the car on 3rd Street at gunpoint. If I'm not mistaken, the arresting officer's grandfather was implicated in an early 70s or 1960s civil rights cover-up and secret burial at Miami Cemetery. And the best person to ask would be one of the houses located where the young minorities were pulled over and taken out of the car at gunpoint. And that would be Warren County Dispatch, Waynesville native. It's not that hard to do this investigation. So, Benny Harrison, I don't know what's going on with Derek Ford, but I hope you take the lead.